All right. Welcome to Spurs Vision TV. This is the Malaysia Spurs second episode. Today we got a special guest with us, Dr. Ramlan, and of course, my press over there. Right. Sometimes left, right, we get confused. But guys,
right.
here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world watching this at the moment. Hope you all are well. Right. Over to you, press.
Selamat datang. Welcome to all our viewers. Welcome to our international viewers, all Tottenham Hotspur supporters. And today, before that, we'll do a dual language, Bahasa Malaysia and English, for the benefit of our international viewers. So today we have Dato Dr. Ramlan Aziz. To start off, Dato, introduce yourself. How long have you been supporting Tottenham? How long have you been suffering supporting Tottenham?
Very long suffering. Hello, everyone. Thanks to Eugene and Azman for inviting me tonight. And I've been a Spurs supporter dilly-dallying since 74 when I was 14, during Martin Chibber's time and all that. But I wasn't solid. I was only solid when during Glenn Hoddle's time, Ricardo Villa, Adiles, those years. Then I was really hooked, and here I am.
Dato, I started Tottenham 1981 while watching the FA Cup final.
Exactly. The replay. That was a very classic.
I guess three of us are more or less at the same time, lah. You get what I'm saying?
Fell in love. We fell in love. We fell in love with the cockerel.
That is fantasy football, right? Before you get hooked, can't help it.
I know.
Okay,
but those are the days when the games are, when we were playing the Spurs way, that the attacking style football, and we've seen how Aussie played, how all the old good great names were playing, right? And especially even when Adidas was the manager of our club, right? We had that version of Ange in those days.
I remember watching Archibald Grockrooks, small little player Grockrooks, Mickey Hazard, Falco, then later on Gary Lineker, Clive Allen. So until today,
if I recall correctly, that season, 1981, between Archibald and Garth Crooks, they combined to score 50 goals, I think. 50 goals. Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah. Okay.
Let's start.
Let's get into the game. First game we're just gonna touch on, right? This is the first game we're gonna touch on. To tell the truth, right? First of all, hold on. I'm gonna say a happy birthday to Vic. Right? Happy birthday to him, Vic. Hope he's doing well. And the other thing is, all I'm gonna say now is that we did a game on last Saturday with the Singapore Spurs. Big up to the Singapore guys too. Coming to
shout out to Singapore Spurs. Shout out to Singapore Spurs.
Shout out to Singapore Spurs. And then we did a watch along viewing right at the Tamu Hotel. Some branding for Tamu Hotel, right, for this game, the West Ham game, right. I'll just if you watched the watch along, I was very angry of what happened, but I still accept it. It is what it is, right? So let's see how that goes, right? For the West Ham game. Your thoughts, Azman and Doc. You guys go ahead first.
Okay, macam ni lah. Yes, I was equally disappointed. It was a game against West Ham, a game where we should not be losing to West Ham. We cannot lose to West Ham. That is their cup final. Unfortunately for them, that is their cup final. But remember when the new stadium opened, they won their first game when the new stadium opened. I remember who was the striker? Antonio. What was his name? He's the one who scored the only goal. Vicario, he scored when they first came to our new stadium. It was so frustrating watching the game throughout the game. There was no winning feeling. There was no I don't know. I couldn't feel it. Dato, macam mana, Dato? What do you feel about it?
I was actually the first half was total washout. They dominated the first half. That was very clear. But I thought we started to do well. We dominated the second half, and we got a goal out of that. Okay, so I saw many good signs, and I started thinking our players are not bad. It's just that they're not able to translate a combined effort to get the result, and then they switched off in the final seconds. And I feel the substitutions were not working well as well. Once you take more than one guy out, right, at any one time, it upsets the balance of the whole team. And suddenly, the guy who comes in is not warmed up enough, and then his mind is not, both body and mind not warmed up enough. And then you go, and then suddenly the whole thing, people looking at each other, what is my job, what is your job, and suddenly the ball went in. So that was very disappointing. The finish was disappointing. Yeah.
Vicario again. I'm not so sure about the Vicario. We have divided opinion about him. He's always been flapping. Couldn't handle the crosses. Not so sure about him anymore because when he first came 2 years ago, he was all right. He was doing okay.
Yeah.
But he is not showing the confidence level to all his teammates. Yeah, we need to have a better keeper next season if they want to change.
Yeah.
But I'm still surprised why Kinski was never given a chance, even during the FA Cup. Right? When we lost to Aston Villa, I was hoping that Kinski played. He did quite all right when he first came. Kinski, I'm talking about Kinski. Last season when Vicario was injured, he came in for the Liverpool game in the semi-final of Carabao Cup last season. He was doing all right, but I guess I'm not so sure whether I think Vicario is a Thomas Frank favorite player. I assume.
I thought Kinski generally does well, when he gets to play. Yes. But the thing about playing is that you need 1 or 2 games on the trot, to get some confidence, and the feeling of being part of the team and all that. So you're not giving him much of a chance in the first place. Yes. And then our fellow, his kicking is horrible. Yes. And then any balls coming into the box, and then he's worried about people shoving him. When you can't shove people back. At the end of the day, you have to protect yourself. So I think as a defensive goalkeeper, he's not good. He can make saves, reflect saves and all that, which looks good. But at the end of the day, you can make 2 saves and then let it fall.
Tapi Dato, he has cost us games, Dato. I mean, Forest game, remember? And then the Fulham game in particular.
I agree.
We don't have a strong character keeper. People like Clemens, or going back all the way back to Clemens, or even recently Ian Walker, kan? So he doesn't bring anything extra or anything special to the team. Yes, he does well on occasion, good saves. Even last night, for example, he did quite all right. But he is not the sweeper keeper now they're talking about. Dia bukan sweeper keeper like macam like he's something like Donnarumma, who is not a sweeper keeper. But this modern days football, we are talking about sweeper keeper now. Apparently he is not. Roman, any comment on Vicario?
To tell the truth, right, Vicario was brought in at the period of time, I think, just as, if I'm not mistaken, Ange was coming in at the time, right? He was part of the reshuffle when Lloris left, right? We did put a lot of hope on him, but the thing is that we have never gotten anyone to actually challenge him, right? Because we brought in our youth keepers to come in, like Austin and who else do we have? The few young boys and all that. But to tell the truth, Austin is not even young nowadays. I think he's going to be 30 soon, and he hardly ever plays.
He's almost, he's 29,
Yeah. So the thing is that with Vicario, right, he can't play the ball with his foot, right? We found that out for a long time. The only problem is that we know his weaknesses, and the only thing is that he hasn't improved on it. That is my fear that goes on. Right? But it is what it is for Spurs in the goalkeeper dilemma and all that. Right? And to tell the truth, for the West Ham game, he flapped at that corner, right? And like what you were saying is very true, right? He was more focused on not getting shoved, but instead of shoving people. He should be a more commanding goalkeeper. But guys, he's been in the Premier League for, I think, 3 to 4 years now, if I'm not mistaken. And if you still haven't adapted to the Premier League style, right? I guess it is what it is, right? We have to move on. And for Kinski is that Kinski came in, he showed promise with his feet in the early stages. But the problem is that he couldn't stop the shots. You remember?
Yeah.
That's why there is the lack of confidence, right? I think in the managers in actually putting him in the games. I believe that when time comes, right, we need to change our keeper. I would love the Brentford goalkeeper, Kelleher. I didn't know why, right? We let Kelleher go to Brentford and we didn't bring him in, right, last summer to actually challenge Vicario. You get what I'm saying? But, that's what Spurs do. We have problem with our recruitment. Most probably we'll get into that later. And let's move on from the West Ham game because that was a very disappointing result that we had, right? So it is what it is. And before I continue, I'm just going to give a shout out to Eddie, right? And of course hold on. Let me see whether I can do this. I think I'm having some internet lag at the moment, but never mind. I can't put up the things and all. Big up to Eddie and of course to Dan, right, from Spurs Analyst, right? All these guys are all my, contacts from the UK and all that. Right. Hope you all guys are doing well. Right? And from there, I think we will stop commenting much onto the West Ham game because to tell the truth, after the West Ham game, we were all already in a certain level of, I don't know. Shall we talk about Frank in, Frank out first, or should we talk about the Dortmund game? Because to tell the truth, let's do the Dortmund game, guys. Because I think the Dortmund game has actually given him a lifeline at the moment. A lot of us didn't have much confidence, right, in the Dortmund game. I was more or less predicting that we're going to get smacked and all that because with the injuries that we had, right? And to tell the truth, guys, I usually do watch-alongs, right, at 4 even though 4 a.m., but somehow or another this season, I don't have the energy anymore to actually do watch-alongs from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., right? Right? But I still watched the game, right? My scenario was like, I was lying in bed, holding my handphone, Bluetooth on, right? I saw the first goal go in. I said, that's good, right? Then next thing, the red card came out. Then my eyes closed. And the next thing I woke up, I don't even remember we won or lost.
Okay, Dato dulu. Your comment about Dato.
Yeah, that's my analysis of the
game dulu.
I had a good sleep. Okay. I'm an old man, right? I need my sleep. But
okay, understand.
I actually set my alarm for 3:50, right? Hoping to, and then I decided, let's watch the highlights later on. But I woke up at about 5:30 like that, and then I saw the result. I said, "Hey, this is a surprise." But my first thought was that, is this a reprieve for our beleaguered, Thomas Frank, or it really doesn't matter?
Look, on Monday, on Tuesday, it was not about the media circus. It was not about the Dortmund game. The media circus was about who is going to replace Thomas Frank. Come match day, it was a big surprise. Yes, I was listening to some podcast this morning from UK about Tottenham about the game, and credit due. We should give credit where it's due. They had a good game. They had a very good 45 minutes, which is kind of like funny because where have all these good games when before, kan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Suddenly it reappears, and suddenly we know how to
Yeah.
play, and suddenly we know how to to pass forward. They were talking about Spence turning into Bill.
Yep.
I saw.
Wilson,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wilson Odobert was, was like, was very good. Xavi Simons, apparently he was injured, but he was playing like he was controlling the game. So Spurs is a very funny team. Uh, very funny team. One day they can be a good team. The next day they'll be like playing in the Division 4. That's how I feel about them now.
Okay. That's just to be fair, right? I think moving on from, I think we slowly, gradually go from the Dortmund game into the Frank in, Frank out scenario, because that is the biggest hoo-ha that's going on at the moment. Because to tell the truth, right, all this noise that's been happening with the manager, right, it's been over eclipsed, right? Like you going back to the Dortmund game, right? Even though I watched about 15 to half an hour of the game, right, I did see a lot of the good passing, the forward movement of the game. And the thing is that I think Frank was more or less forced into this situation at this moment, because I think he had this luncheon, with the board of directors and all that. I think they must have given him an ultimatum, you get what I'm saying? So he has to let loose the leash, right? But after going 2-0 up, if I was not mistaken, right, he made some changes and we sat back again. You get what I'm saying? We went back to 3 at the back, 5 at the back, and a lot of Spurs fans were having PTSD again, that they fear that we're going to collapse and all that, but we didn't, thank God. And of course, don't forget, guys, Dortmund were playing with 10 men, right? Dortmund were playing with 10 men.
So. No. I think before the 10 men happens, we were playing all right. We were
even though we were playing,
we were actually playing football, real football.
Yeah. Even before we were
actually playing.
No, I'm saying, even before the red card, yes, even before the red card, we were out there. We got the goal before the red card, right? The second goal after the red card. But I'm saying in the second half, right, we were more pragmatic to a certain extent, that they had 10 men and we had 11. So our defense was a bit more, organized, more confident. And, to tell the truth, I would have loved Spurs, right, in the second half, right? Them being 10 men, we went out there and smacked them a couple of more goals. You get what I'm saying?
No, again, remember, he only had 12 fit players.
12 first team players,
12 first team players apart from the 6 youth team, right?
Yeah, I know. I can't blame him.
To me, it was a good game management, because probably he during halftime he told the players, look, we are in front by 2 now. Let's sit back. Let's enjoy the game, because he cannot go gung ho again in the second half and like what.
I understand.
If the players are tired, I
understand.
Who replace? Yeah, I
understand.
So I guess the second half was a good game management. Where he sees out the game up, so that it was good. It was good. For some may not agree. We are going back to the pragmatic way. But
I understand.
It was a good.
It's always considered good game management if the result comes out, as 1-2-0. That's it. Right?
Of course.
At the moment in time, right now, and even Bergwijn now is injured, right? That's why I think Byfield had to come on for him as a substitute, if I'm not mistaken. One of the youngsters had to come on, right? So injuries are building up, and then to tell the truth, the whole fan base is in a total meltdown. And if I'm not mistaken, I was reading a lot of comments, right, through the BBC and all that, right? A lot of people still say, right, they still want Frank out. It doesn't matter. Even if we won yesterday. We won yesterday.
Dato, Frank out. Who he brings in?
Well,
wait. We got Dato first. Is he Frank in or Frank out first?
Me.
Yeah.
After the West Ham game, he's out. He should be out.
Then after the Dortmund game.
Let me just make this point about being 2 up. 2 up is a very dangerous thing,
Yeah. Very dangerous score.
Yeah, if your opponent scores 1, suddenly you're under pressure. And before you know it, it's 2 all. Right? And if you look left and right, suddenly it's 3-2 and you're losing. So 2-0 is a dangerous place to be in the first instance. So regardless of whether it's 9 players or 10 players, or even it's 12 players, you got to get that third goal. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think they tried, but we have a Rondo,
Yeah.
RKM who can't even score 1-1.
No problem. They tried. But there's no justification to sit back and say we're comfortable at 2-0. That's madness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah. Big up to Ronnie Martin. Big up to Donna Cullen. Yeah, hope you're doing well, right? Yeah, and Donna. Yeah.
Is
I got some great news, guys.
The previous is that?
Azman,
I thought she left the building, Donna Cullen.
Oh no, Donna Cullen has got a long history with us Spurs YouTubers, right? She's one of the biggest supporters of our channel.
I know. She
Is that the real Donald Cullen?
Is it the real Donna Cullen?
Seriously? We honored, eh? We honored to have her. Yeah.
But before that, okay, Doc, you really said your part about the Dortmund game, right? Now, my big question to you, right? Are you Frank in or Frank out? Because for me, I'm Frank don't care. You know my stance, right, on managers nowadays.
Okay.
I am Frank in.
You're Frank in, okay.
You're back to Frank in now, Azman.
Yeah.
My God, you're Frank out. Last Saturday, you were Frank out.
So we got one of each, right? Don't care, out and in. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Frank in. At this moment, no. You got to give that fella a chance. You know, we might lose on Saturday to Burnley, and we might lose to Frankfurt next week, which we can't afford to lose both games. But we have to be fair to him. He is getting the brunt of what is happening now. He has to, because for what that has happened for the past 3-4 seasons, and unfortunately, Thomas Frank are taking the blame now. It is not his fault. Yeah, and we must really understand, for the past 3-4 seasons when Levy was in charge, who did we buy, or did we buy the correct player? Or so to me, give him a chance. Let's see how the season ends, then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
I don't think we will get don't think we will ever get relegated, but we should be all right. 14, 15, maybe even 17. I don't mind.
But we want to win a trophy.
As long as we win the trophy, Champions League.
You know. To be honest with you, I'm only saying Frank out because you just say Frank in or out. I need to explain myself. Okay. In the first instance, how many matches do you allow a coach coming in for the first time, getting used to not only the personnel, the playing personnel, the coaching personnel, the whole culture and the expectations of the fan base? These are the things that actually risky items for any coach coming in. And there's no guarantee, if you bring Xavi Hernandez or whomever is available out there, top coaches, that they will be suddenly coming in, because we've had top coaches before, right? We've got top coaches before who won many trophies in the past, but it's about a good fit. Okay, now, but at the end of the day, I think coaches, not only players, have a learning curve. Coaches have a learning curve as well. I think I made this point before when Ange was a coach. I said at the end of the day, he has to struggle with the injury list. Suddenly, this player not available, that player not available, and then you have to blood in an 18-year-old player, 16-year-old player, so on and so forth. But he did quite well. And then when push comes to shove, he had to sacrifice a league position for that cup, because we were all about let's have some silverware, like it's some mantra, right? So when he did deliver the silverware, and suddenly he's faced with a situation that still he's faced with reality that 17th wasn't good enough in any measure. So there you go. So it cost him his job. Now at this point, I am quite persuaded by your point, Azman, simply because it is at this point. That's why with West Ham, you saw the first half when we were not so good, but the second half, I'm sure he made changes and he had a proper talk. Yeah, so there is a glimmer of hope, but then it can be seen that the next game against Burnley, yes, that's away, right?
Away.
Right. So away we might stand a better chance, no? Because playing at home is always a risk. So there you go. So there you. My thoughts on the matter. Yeah.
Guys, I read somewhere saying that if Levy is still around, Thomas Frank would have gone many weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's speculation.
Yeah. So
the thing is that yesterday before I went to sleep and for the game, right, I went to another podcast, right. I said this. I've been watching this trend of Tottenham managers for a long time. Whenever the fans get on the back of the manager, they get sacked. From Poch, Mourinho, Nuno, Conte, all of them. I'm seeing now whether ENIC will break that trend, right? I actually hope that Levy, right, would have broken that trend, right, with Ange, because Ange won us the trophy. Ange could have united the fan base. Ange could have united the players. I'm sure everybody was on the same page of that day, right? But like you said, 22 losses in a season, 17, not acceptable. But then we never took into account, right? I think by mid-January, we already calculated that we couldn't get relegated, and we put all our eggs into one basket, and that was the Europa League. So, and he delivered the Europa League, and he wasn't given a chance. And like what Doc says is true. Frank coming in, because I don't care about Frank, because if you guys know me, Doc knows me, right? I know the bigger problem is not the managers. We've been having a very bad medical team. Later we go on to that because Doc is a sports scientist, doctor, right? Yeah. Medical team. We've been having very bad recruitment team, right? And we've been run not that well as a football club in the footballing sense. But in the money sense, we've been doing very well. Sustainable. We built a £1 billion stadium, blah, blah, blah. We all know that. Now, the problem is that the only thing is that what pushed me over the edge with the Frank in, Frank out thing is that I'm more to the Frank out at the moment is because of the stupid Arsenal cup he was drinking from at the Bournemouth game. You can't tell me, right? You pick up something and you don't see and you bring it out in public and you show everyone, right? So that is a big mistake from him. So in the footballing wise, to tell the truth, how can we blame him? I understand the injuries, the quality, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is that before he came, right, when everybody was on Ange's back, right, everybody was saying Ange was this master tactician. Sorry, Frank was this master tactician. Frank was this master coach. They will coach them better, blah, blah, blah. But in the end of the day, right, we're seeing all this repeating over and over again. Who can we blame, right?
No, the thing is that
like what Azman says is correct, right? If we put this on him, is it all his fault? I don't think so, right? Sorry, Azman, go ahead.
Okay, this is my take why I say Frank in. We have seen glimpses of how he wants to play. The first half of yesterday, the second half of West Ham, or even when we were playing all right. Now it is for him to find the correct formula or to find the best way how to bring out these players and make them look good. We can't keep changing managers every time this thing happens, guys. Takkanlah kita nak tukar every time. We're not doing well, we change managers. I don't agree with that. But
I thought ini adalah itu manager PTSD. I tahu. Tapi the problem dia tak consistent. You tahu tak?
How can you be consistent when you don't even have the players?
That is his problem. No, that is his problem. You can say no. That's not our problem. That's his problem. That reflects on the pitch. And to tell the truth, right? If you are in London, right, paying 120, let's say 90 pounds for the ticket, spending the money, and not say Malaysia is going over there, right? You're just talking about the home fans, right? They will go crazy. Yes, sir. If you were paying 20 pounds for the ticket, makan burger 5 pound, right? Not belasan pound, puluhan pound, then there's no problem. You guys know, because we push ourselves up in the level so high, kan, it has to show in the reflection into on the pitch. That's all I can say. Tapi we are in this position now, right? Like Azman is saying, willing to give Frank time. Doc is saying, most probably he has to go. And I'm saying, most probably I don't care. But I'm on the outside also.
Look, this in and out matter, it hinges on because this is football is a game of moments, right? One moment you're like this, and then the next moment it changes and all that. It's the same with this situation. It hinges on one game where we decide enough is enough, all right? But sometimes you try to be ahead of the curve. If you've seen enough after how many matches have we been through this season now?
League 22, League 21, 22, yeah.
I think
okay.
League games 21, 22, Champions League, we almost played 30 games.
All right.
Yeah, 30 games.
So and then if you look at this thing, you cannot just see the coach. You have to see who's the assistant coach. Assistant coach just left, brought in Heitinga as a new assistant coach. That might tip this thing over to just giving him one more chance and see how things shape up. Because the first match after Heitinga came over is the Dortmund game, correct?
Yeah.
I think he came before the West Ham game, right? A few days before the West Ham game, yeah.
Yeah, but he's moving into a new house. The wife is staying.
Dortmund game. Yeah.
Correct. So it takes a bit of time. So now then he's bedded down. He said the first game Dortmund, and there's something about European games, that elevates your motivation a bit more than the usual run of the mill, league matches. Yeah. So now I feel that if we the three of us at least in this forum decide, then let's see what happens with Burnley.
Yeah. There was some posting that it was Johnny Heitinga tactics last night. High press, high intensity game, push forward, the typical European style of games.
No, you look at the change in positions. Suddenly you got Spence playing left wing. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, where did that come from?
But okay,
agree. If you guys noticed, I was watching the full game. When they were defending, they had 4 players, right? Poro, Danso, Kuti, and Udogi.
Yeah.
Attacking mode, they changed it to back 3. They push Udogi up on the left. You can see the interchanging of players. That has not been seen before this season. Yeah.
You're inverting Udogi again. The thing is that I think what happened is like this, right? He was dealt a hand that he had no choice because of the injuries, right? So he had to try something new. So Spence being up front there, I think he was playing on the left, right? If I'm not mistaken.
He was our new Gareth Bale.
Yeah, he's looking like But the thing is that with Udogi and Spence being able to cover each other, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he goes up, Spence can stay back and be more defensive, and it's a reversal kind of a role. But in the end of the day, like I said, the Burnley game later we'll be talking about comes up, right? It's going to be very important. But before we go into that, right, I'm going to go into this first because from the Thomas Frank now scenario, the dilemma that we've been going through, right? Manager in, manager out, and all that, right? Our transfer window has been right, guys. We've only signed Conor Gallagher, okay? We bring in, I think, Souza, right? Another 19-year-old, right, from Brazil. Right? I think that should be confirmed in 1 or 2 days' time. He's doing his medical, I think, today or tomorrow, right? Do you think that the noise on the manager is covering what we're actually supposed to do, which is actually focus on the transfer window?
We have not seen any other rumors so far. Earlier they were talking about Savinho, it dies down. Talking about, I don't see any new names coming up. Which is a bit disappointing actually. Tapi it's been It's been slow.
Wasn't there a search for a new goalkeeper? They were mentioning this Belgian fella. I forgot his name.
The Van Bruggen from Brighton. Huh?
No, I think you should. Yes, correct. Yes.
One of the keepers from Club Brugge.
Yeah. So that's one. At least now we have to look at what positions do we need an upgrade, right? An improvement. What positions?
There'll be a long list.
Right. So you start from there. Yeah.
We need a goal scoring forward, right? We need a left winger, right? Okay, we got Conor Gallagher to hold up the midfield, okay, right? We need cover on the left for a fullback, because we can't be playing Spence there all the time with Udogi always being injured, okay? On the right, Porro has been sussed, but okay, Spence goes over and cover Porro, okay? To tell the truth, we got Xavi, okay, fair. Kudos is injured. That was supposed to be part of it. But to tell the truth, the goalkeeper is the one too. And the weird part is that we might lose Dragosin, right? One of our defenders going out to Italy again.
Roma. Rumors says go back to Italy, Roma. And news just came in. Kuala Moani wants to play more regularly and may explore a recall and reloan option this January. Yeah.
That's good.
He can leave whenever he wants. He has not shown the French striker ability. I have not seen anything like that this season.
Yeah. And big up to Riazari, right? He says that the injuries or not, right? It's up to the gaffer to find solutions, right? Yeah. At the same time, same thing, right? Next season, right? Are we going to still give the gaffer a free pass because of the injuries? Now the thing is that the gaffer, whether they have a free pass or not, that's part and parcel of football. They have to adapt. They have to find a way to get through, right? The only sad part is that.
Just a question. Last season we had 13 players injured, and then history repeating again this season. Yeah, why is this, doctor? I mean, you are a doctor in sports. Something wrong with our medical department or anything like that?
Well, the thing is, we're looking at something down the line. The medical department is struggling because the injuries are piling up, right? And these injuries, sometimes they may not be so apparent, but you always have to go back to why these injuries happen. If it is a traumatic injury, somebody gives a hard tackle, you twist your knee and all that, but the injuries that happen during training are the ones that you have to look at, right? Is there an overload in the physical conditioning session? Okay. Or was there not enough time given for injuries to recover in the short term, right? And then persisting with players not being honest and coming through and say, I've got a problem here because he wants to play. Yes. So these are the many things that I feel we need to look at. And I've had occasions where I've actually adopted a role as a medical auditor. Okay. Where as a senior doctor, I just have to review the management of particular injury, okay, of certain athletes. And I find that sometimes what the right hand does, the left hand doesn't know. And what the right hand needs to clasp and all that, they drop the ball. So there's so many instances where a group of people, they're not approaching the thing as a team, The doctor sees the athlete in the first instance. The physiotherapist will see in the first instance, and then the doctor will come in. And in the end, the communication between them, they might have differences of opinion. And then the other thing I notice is about it takes a long time for people to do scans over there, because over here you get injured in the morning, I'll do a scan in the afternoon. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you do have to wait. Like if there's a swelling, you do have to wait.
Yeah, it could come until the swelling comes down.
Yes, correct. But at the same time, it does take in the first instance, any diagnosis is a confidential matter, okay, between the athlete and his doctor, right? and also the coach is brought into the circle of trust and confidentiality. So it is very difficult for these three people to be discussing so openly about any injury. So this is another thing, that you have to negotiate, the ability to communicate to the public what is happening to a player, because they are wondering why. So their perception is that perception of ineptitude with the medical staff. So the medical staff is hiding for nothing. You see, so you have to manage communications very well to the public, so that you keep them informed updated, informed enough, and to appraise the whole situation, but not to a point where they're wondering, and then these people are hiding something, or they're lying to us and all.
Itulah.
So there you go.
We all want to know what actually happens to Kulu.
Kulusevski.
Kulusevski. Okay, doctor, remember Jamal Musiala, he broke his ankle during pre-season, which is back in June, I think. Last weekend he played his first game.
No, the thing is, Doc. The thing, okay.
What makes me wonder, how can a guy who broke his ankle in June can start playing in February?
Oh, it depends. It depends.
Tapi I saw the video of the injury. I do not know, but it looked quite bad lah, kan? It looked quite very bad. But there's no transparency from Tottenham about Kulusevski.
Okay.
Wait. Azman. I don't even go about Kulu, right? Solanke is the
no. It's not about Kulu or anyone else.
I'm saying about
being transparent. The club needs to be transparent. What is happening to the players?
Azman, the problem is that our club has never been transparent about anything for the past 25 years.
Betul.
Transparent about we all we can do is assume and guess. I've done this, we spoke about this, Doc. We spoke about this during Ange tenure, the injuries happening, right? But we could see why the injuries were happening, because Ange were actually killing the muscles of our players, the hamstrings are being catched to maximum, all that. But now, with Frank, right, why are these injuries happening? Is it because he's being carried forward from the Frank era until now? Or is it because there's something wrong in our football where we train, the pitch? There's something wrong there. Maybe the grass is too long, or the sand is too soft. Right? No, I'm saying, there are a lot of things. And then it comes to the fact that, like what Azman is saying, how can Jamal Musiala get a broken ankle or a foot or whatever, right, in the Club World Cup, right, come back even before Kulusevski, who was injured even before the Club World Cup? Right? So there is something inherently wrong with our medical team. It's like what you say. Maybe they are not communicating in the medical level throughout themselves, or are they hiding things? Or basically, our medical team is shit.
I just want to know, as a person, Thomas Frank said a few weeks ago, he has to take sub-injections. What does he mean by that?
Well, look,
there's some news about Kulu. There's some
remember, he came out saying take injection with 10 days.
Okay, guys.
Take injection for 10 days. What is that? Why injection?
Basically, at this point, I'm beginning to in the first instance, there are 5 or 6 questions coming in, right? We mentioned Musiala, Kulusevski, and then Solanke. What else? The fact of the matter is that you have one ankle fracture here, one ankle fracture there, and they will still have different situations. Right? Yes. There is no ankle sprain, a simple ankle sprain, which is the most common injury in any sport. Ankle sprain, most sports anyway. A simple ankle sprain, people say simple, but 2 weeks is still swollen, right? It should be settling in, and then the swelling should reduce, should recede, and then you can walk better and all that. That's a simple ankle sprain. It's a matter of just a 2-week thing, 3-week thing. But then I remember in my medical training, when you have a simple ankle sprain, you have 5 possibilities, 5 other possibilities where you can have a fracture and it sits there and you do not know. It might be a small bit, but that small bit of fragment of any bone, whether it is part of, whether it's just a clean break or a piece of bone which has been yanked away forcefully by the ligament attached to that bone, then suddenly there's a different picture altogether. I believe that in the first instance, the order of the day is to make a provisional diagnosis for you to work on and plan your investigation and see what it's all about. Then the objective of this is to make sure that you have a definitive diagnosis. When you have a provisional diagnosis, you have to have 5 possibilities at least. You have to entertain these possibilities, So when you do that, and then you look at the player as an individual. You cannot compare to Musiala, whomever else has the ankle problem, all right? Because this is not helpful. Because the most important thing is to get the accurate, definitive diagnosis, and then you can plan your management properly. But still, sometimes during the course of the situation, people want medical personnel to be predictive. How many weeks? How many months? This is another issue. You see, the best advice you can give is always to the player because it is his body. It's not about the manager even. It's between the doctor and the patient. Yes? So the most important thing is the patient is not only injured physically, he's injured up here as well. Right?
Mentally, yeah.
Yeah, because he has expectations to recover as soon as possible. Now, either a young person, they want to get better yesterday. Not today, not tomorrow. Right? So there's always a risk that they might do too much too soon. And then we are not monitoring them 24 hours. We don't have cameras watching them what they do day and night. So they might be doing things there's too much too soon. So I think there's always a matter for us to consider not only accurate diagnosis, a proper plan for treatment, a proper plan for rehabilitation, but also monitoring and their mood and their thoughts, because at the end of the day, the psychology of rehabilitation is a very important matter. And then when you're injured, you're talking about surgery or no surgery. But then you have to look at their diet, yes, their sleep, whether they have unreasonable expectations. So there's a psychological side to this. Now, the problem with this is always compliance. Sometimes we feel, what compliance is? They follow what you have advised. So these are the major issues that I've met and present challenges to all of us, to myself, to my physiotherapy colleagues, right? And then there's a certain point, when it's no longer a matter of between the doctor and the physiotherapist alone. Suddenly you have the conditioning guy having to come in, right? Having to sort of merge this physiotherapy and conditioning, and where the handshake. How do we negotiate the handshake between these two? If you do it too soon, it's going to damage you. If you do it too long, it's going to take too long. So I think there's so many issues that at this point, I can only say that when you're faced with this thing, you have to take things individual by individual. And of course, we have no information at all. We have no knowledge of what this thing is. I have no idea what ails our player Kulusevski and all the rest. So the most important thing is that I'm just talking about the fundamentals and the principle of the matter.
Okay, we just hope that all the injured player comes back as quick as possible, kan? Probably with the exception of Madison, which I think probably next season we'll see him again. All right, I think Ramlan.
Sorry.
We talk about
guys. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah,
hold on, guys.
Last topic.
Any Spurs people, right, who's actually listening to this podcast now, right, who are coming from the Tottenham Hotspur, right? You're spying on me now. I know you all listen to me, right? Please hire this guy down here, right? And let him solve our medical issues.
Okay.
I actually did my. Well,
go ahead, Doc.
to be honest, I'm a product of the English sports medicine, fraternity. So yeah,
Dato
so
Dato
so there's so many. The thing about sports medicine is that sometimes the separation between. I always ask I mentor sports medicine students as well, master students over here in University Malaya, and I ask them what is the difference between sports medicine and medicine in sports, right? Yeah, it's a tough question because sports medicine is not just the clinical aspect. There's also the dietary aspect, biomechanics, physiology, psychology, so on and so forth. So is the club equipped? Either they have these services on site or they have access to services, and who's managing this? Who's pulling all the strings so that everybody works together and going in the same direction?
Yeah. I think we if we want to talk about injuries, we will never end, sir.
Never ends.
Well, let's go to the next thing. This will be our last subject of the day, right? The Burnley game.
Okay. Why don't Eugene? Why don't we do after Burnley? We have City, we have Man United, we have.
That one we leave for the next show.
We have
do the next for future shows.
Burnley.
We do the Burnley game, right? The Burnley game. Before I say my part, let's get you guys, right? What is your expectations? What are your hopes and all that? And of course, we need a predicted score.
To me,
go ahead.
Yeah. To me, play the Tottenham way. Just play the Tottenham way, the way how we play, and I'm hoping for a 2-1 win.
All right.
That's it.
Nothing
else to say.
Okay. Play the Tottenham way and win 2-1. All right.
Yeah.
Doc, what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I have a lot of sympathy with that expectation, but basically, we need an away win. Yes, if you want to harness the progress that we saw within the second half West Ham game and then Dortmund last night, this is what we need to see, an away win.
Yeah. There's no two ways about it. He has to win it. He has to win on Monday.
Yeah.
Because on this weekend, if he doesn't, then I'm not sure what's going to happen to him.
Because that feel good factor, that feel good factor. Look, at the end of the day, whether Frank in or Frank out, it's always about the best interest of the club. Yes.
Yes. True.
Yes.
True.
It's about the best interest. So
yes, true.
Yeah, whether this one saves Frank's job or not, the most important thing is, you have to harness that feel good thing from the Dortmund game and harness that and bring it forward to the Burnley game. Away win.
Yep, that's true. For me, it's a very simple thing, right? We started something good in the Dortmund game. Let's hope that Frank will be consistent with it. Don't make too many changes, but I do see that Bergvall is injured at the moment, so I think Conor Gallagher will come back for Bergvall, right? So there is a certain balance that he has to make, right?
Yeah.
For me, all I can say is that Burnley, our away form has been much better than our home form. So I do expect a good scoreline for us in this game. My prediction, right, will be 3-1 Spurs. Doc, what's your prediction?
I can't predict, It is against my beliefs to make predictions, but I am hoping for an away win. I need to see an away win as a fan. Yes? Because at the end of the day, whether it's 1-0 or 2-0, and I've said before, 2-0 is a dangerous place to be. Yes, even more so than 1-0, So then we have a situation where we need to score goals, score more than the other side, not be so much like a Brazilian team lah, okay? Where they score 2, we score 3, that sort of thing lah, tak boleh lah, sakit jantung lah.
Betul.
All right, guys,
let's have our team back. Itu saja. That's why I asked. The way how we play.
The other thing is that most probably, okay, this game will be Saturday, 11 p.m. Malaysia time. Probably I'll be doing the match viewing at our regular Mamak store. Let's hope all you guys can join us there, right? Give a big support to Spurs. And before I end the show, I usually do this, right? Big up to all the guys in the chats, right? Thanks for being here, right? Let me kind of read this. The Ria Zairi, right? Big up to you, Shirley, right? The Tottenham Tea Lady. Thanks for being here, right, guys? And of course, who else do we have here? Eva Man, right, a big supporter of the channel from Hong Kong. Eva's from Hong Kong, right? Doc, you should know that. Rodney Martin, thanks for being here. Simply 206, right? Simply 2016. We need a goalkeeper. Donna Cullen, yep, Donna Cullen's back, right? Donna Cullen's back trolling all of us, right? She's looking for a date from one of us. And of course, first analyst, right? Dan, right? A good friend of mine. And Eddie, yep, from one of the other clubs.
Eddie.
So, yeah, big up to you guys. And guys, any last thoughts before we end the show?
No.
Well, I always admire a Spurs fan, not, even if I can just take a step back and look at the two of you, we are long-suffering Spurs fans, right? But we won a trophy, so that sort of takes away a bit of the pain. But, we react the way we react because we're all passionate for the team. But at the same time, if you watch the Dortmund supporters last night, they were losing and they were supporting the team like they're all brothers to them.
They were so loud. There was some comment saying that it was so loud as if Spurs was playing at away stadium. That's why we won.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for being here, Doc. Thanks for being here, Azman.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting.
We have a short chat in the back room after this, right? All right, guys. Thanks for your support. Catch up with you guys.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you
Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs, guys. Come on, you Spurs. That's the most important thing.